Hey Brian, how are you doing today?
I'm living the dream. How about yourself?
I am doing good. I'm doing good.
Good
Um,
deal, good deal. How's your week going?
Very good, very good. So
Um,
yeah, busy as always.
all right. It's Tuesday, I think.
It is.
How are you doing on days? I mean, are you keeping track of them? Do you know what day it is?
Oh, only because I have to look at my calendar. If I didn't have a calendar, I wouldn't truly know. But I am.
Yeah.
I will say this: like I really, working at home, I really am diligent about. I get up and I have a normal day, a normal morning. Like I get up super early. I have a morning routine, and then I come down and I work at home, almost like I'm going to the office. It's just
Yep.
in my space,
Yep.
and I take deliberate breaks here and there to stand up, stretch, do all of that stuff. Like I do all the things that I would do if I was in an office,
Okay.
except almost a little bit more intentional about it, so that I can have a good long day that's productive, and I don't just hobbit hole it, down. So, um, yeah, like I don't want some day to wake up and I'm Frodo. Like it's just not. I don't think that's a good look for me, and I don't think that's a good plan. So, but
No, I totally
so that
understand.
being said, I think I keep track of days well for just to be productive and to get stuff done. But yeah,
Yeah, I've
how about
lost
you? How are you managing all that?
I've lost all track of time.
Oh,
I honestly think now is my body just reacts to the what things it needs to be doing. Like literally, I wake up and I'm like, "Ah, it's 2:30, isn't it?" And I look at my phone, it's 2:30, and it's every freaking day. And I'm like, what? I just went to sleep at like one.
oh,
But my body, for some reason, it's reacting because sometimes I'm having discussions with people on LinkedIn that may be overseas somewhere, so they're up at two
oh, yeah,
thirty at night. Then I'm normally up at that time having those conversations. So my body's like, "You have a meeting, wake up."
oh,
And so
yeah,
literally, I kid you not, it wakes me up, and it's like, oh man. So I think my body's just gotten used to it. But some nights, if I wake up at like 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning and it's super dark outside,
yep.
I'm like, is it nighttime the day before? Like I don't know where I'm at.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I'm just like I'm in the hole at this point.
yeah, yeah,
It's not hurting me at all. It's just I've lost pretty much all track of time. And
sure,
yes, without a calendar, I would not know what day it is
yeah.
or anything like that. So I make
I
sure
know.
I put my reminders out there. So
Yeah, I noticed some of the days that I have either crazy early morning meetings or super late at night for the same reason, people around the globe,
yep.
then it does mess me up a little bit and I have to shift things and then I'm off a day. So it's almost like you have jet lag. There's going to be this thing, I think, called Zoom lag or something. I'm like jet lag.
I love
But
it. I
whatever.
love it. I
It's kind of,
love it. I
I,
love it.
I think we're all doing okay. Given the world is kind of a challenging place, I think I can say that I'm doing okay, and
Yeah.
that's a good place to be, I think. So
We're not doing bad. I mean,
yeah,
if we dive really deep and look really granular into where we're at right now as a human race, we're not doing that bad.
yeah,
We
we,
we are going through something right now for
yep,
sure. But if you think way back in the day when polio hit and wiped out lots of people
yeah,
really quickly, we ain't doing that bad just yet.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So I think people need to make sure that they stay off of social media and consuming all the negativity
yes,
from it because that's just messing with your head,
yeah,
making you think that all this is going on
yeah,
when really we're just going through a thing. There's a bump in the road right now.
right,
But we're also getting the opportunity to level ourselves up. And so
yep,
a lot of people have had to learn how to use technology in a sense of where how do I use Zoom to have an office meeting or things like that. And so by doing those things, they've actually leveled themselves up in a sense of where they actually can be more productive
hmm,
within the organization that they work for. So
oh yeah.
it's not all negative, people.
No,
Um,
I love,
all
like
the
I
positives.
pointed out a million times, that I love the fact that I can have meetings back to back and I don't have to plan driving time. Like that's something that simple. And then the sustainability person in me is I just saved gas, I saved wear and
Yep.
tear in my vehicle, I was
Yep.
quicker. Like there's just so many good things too.
Positivity. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Positive. Don't think negative. I mean,
yeah,
when this is all said and done, hopefully, businesses will be a lot more cleaner.
yeah.
So that way we don't have to worry about catching even the flu. So
Hopefully.
this is a positive. Yeah, right. This is a positive thing. If
Yep.
we can look at the positive effects of what's going on right now, the world would be in a better place right now. We wouldn't have to be in this negative hole. Some of us, and I shouldn't say we, because I don't go in that negative hole. I
Yeah,
stay
I
out of
don't
it.
either.
But the people that are in that negative hole, they wouldn't have to be there. They look at all the positive things that are happening in the world.
Right.
right now.
Yeah.
So
Well, that
today's
being
topic,
said, yeah, that being said, like we're both like on a segue
right?
track. Yeah, like
Jump
so,
into it.
yeah, so I love all the technology as tools to help us do that and whatever, but there's pieces that I know that I can do better, that is more your gifts and your strengths. So I would love to have our session be a little bit of our Ask Amy and Brian, be more of Amy Ask Brian.
Hey,
So,
I
like
love it.
you're so good
Love
at the
it.
video pieces and whatever, and I know, like I even said earlier that like where I position my camera is off, and there's probably a lot of things. Like, can you just start the conversation of kind of coaching people on how to be better on that, so we look a little more professional? And you can just totally pick on me, because obviously I'm looking sideways and my camera's here, and like what would you critique me on? Because I think critique is a positive thing.
I mean, I don't see that word. That's a tough word for me to go off of. That critique word. I don't like to
Oh,
critique people.
oh
No,
no, see, I'm good with that.
I always feel like that's like a negative. Like I don't want to say anything
Nope.
negative, right? I want to be as much positive as possible. So in a positive conversation,
Yep.
if we were talking, I would say, okay, Amy, what would you like to improve? And he says, well, it seems like you're looking down at your screen, right? But you're
Yeah.
not. Your camera's just too high. So I think you should position your camera like right in the center of your head, right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so that way, when you're looking at the camera, you're looking literally at the screen. And so it looks like you're looking at me, right? So right now, it looks like you're not looking at me. But if you
Yes,
look right
but I
here, it
am
looks like you're
looking
looking.
at you because you're
Yeah,
side to side.
exactly, right? Exactly, right? So the camera is playing tricks in the situation. So just
Sure.
I'd move the camera to a situation where it lines up properly. For some reason, I'm not for sure, but I think people are not understanding how to move videos around online also too. And
Oh,
so
okay.
depending when you take certain videos, you want to make sure that you can move those videos around properly by putting the right tags to them if someone's in that video, to make sure that they get the proper move around, if that makes sense. And so by you tagging me in what we're doing right here, right now, then all of my friends get to see it, and that moves it around all of my network too. And if we tag anybody else, so on and so forth, like we tag Kyle or people like that, when we have these discussions, it moves our thing around more without us having to pay a dime to do it. So it's kind of an organic push. So that's one great thing that I would recommend doing on video for you. I've seen you put some posts out there and move some things around, but I think more targeting, more adding names to things would get us more exposure for what we're trying to do here, which is to get people to ask us more questions.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes. So tell me a little bit about like how you use hashtags in combination with tagging, because it's kind of like a hashtag is kind of a tag, of course, but
Yeah.
how do you leverage each of them differently and similarly?
So one thing that people need to first realize is that you need to go befriend the people if you're going to tag someone in it. And
Oh
so
yeah.
if I'm not following you or following your group, or we're not following each other, if I tag you, your name's not going to come up, right? So when you put at whatever, it won't bring up my name. So it
Right.
makes it difficult to tag. So you just put my name on there thinking you tagged me in it. And then when it goes out, I don't even know that it's out there. So I can't go like, share, or comment on it
Right.
because I wasn't tagged in it. So really, on Facebook, hashtags are useless. It's more about tagging people. And I shouldn't say useless because everything has a little bit of a push to something. If you look on Instagram, when you go look at some of the data on there, it'll say because you use this hashtag, it brought in this much engagement, right?
Sure.
And so that's one thing you can see, kind of how hashtags help on Instagram. On Facebook, it's one of those things where I find that tagging people more in something to where they see it. Like I'm working on an art project right now, and I tag the artist and everything I've done, and so I'll go do like 10, 15 posts in all the groups that I'm in, and
Mhm.
literally on her, if you go to her page, you'll see all of the posts I just shared with her.
Oh,
So then now her friends see all of it. You know what I mean? That all the stuff she's working on without having to do anything. But that's how you move the things around.
sure.
And so I'd recommend on Facebook using the tagging people, and then on Instagram I'd recommend using the hashtags. And you can tag people on Instagram too. It adds to it. Actually, hashtags. It seems like they've been slowing down a lot on Instagram.
Mm.
I've been having to try to figure out. So I've been stuck on one account with like 4,255 people for like the last month and a half.
Oh.
And I know that's BS. I know it's BS. I mean, first of all, I know Instagram's controlling my feed, controlling when I see stuff. But I've been watching it kind of fluctuate, but watching that account stick like that, I'm even going out there using different types of hashtags, but those hashtags are not getting as much engagement as they used to back in the day. which is interesting. So
Mhm.
just trying to figure out that whole hashtag thing on there, but focus on using hashtags that change, I guess, every day on Instagram. That'll help you out. If you can watch the engagements on the hashtags that you're putting out there, there's a huge opportunity for you to be able to find other hashtags just like that to keep moving it around. If that makes sense.
So I have a question on the number of hashtags, because you see some people have a very small targeted number, and I tend to be in the smaller number of hashtags, and then other people have like, you almost got to scroll because there's so many hashtags. Like, is there a point to diminishing return where you have so many of them that it's not really getting to the right places, or how does that work?
There's people on social media that are super random, which means, yes, anybody follow me. I just want anybody to follow me, right? And then you see tons of different hashtags in there, right? But then people that are more targeted, you see fewer hashtags, right? Because they're focused on targeting just a certain type of person. So it completely depends. There's actually, so they say you're only supposed to put 30 hashtags on Instagram, but you literally can put more than 30 hashtags on there. Because what you can literally do is you can put the hashtags actually in the actual post. But then if you do your story, you can take 30 more hashtags and put those 30 hashtags within your story. And then what you do is you actually make those hashtags the same color as your actual post. And so the hashtags don't even show up. So they're actually hidden. And so they're actually hidden behind the actual thing. Or you can actually if you're doing a photo, put the photo over the hashtag. So you see the hashtag, but it's still going out there and tagging tons of more people out there. So trust me, there's more hashtags being used than from people who just want everyone to watch them.
Sure.
On one of my accounts, I was trying that for quite some time, and you can grow anywhere between 1 to 10 people a day doing that. And I know that sounds very small, but you have to understand you're not paying for this. It's organic growth. Yep. And then these are targeted. If I wanted just random people, I can go out there and get a ton of random people to follow me. But to me, there's no value in random people following any of the platforms that I'm working on right now. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, it does make sense.
I was
processing. I was thinking.
You kind of like, okay.
No, I was thinking because I access my visual memory a lot, so I'm picturing like as I'm doing it and where things are at and whatever. So that's for anybody that watches me. Like I have that weird thing where I picture things.
Okay, so you can do that. So can you see inside your head?
I no, but I see, like, as you describe things, everything comes to me in graphic form, like graphics and words. And I picture like when you were describing the layers of it, like I automatically pictured it before you described it like that. Like,
gotcha.
Yeah, like I automatically get images in my head of how things connect.
Okay, gotcha. No, I've been literally trying to find other people. So if I close my eyes, I can see things in my head, not see inside my brain, like see my actual brain, but I literally can. It's like I'm watching a TV.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So when you say you're visualizing, I just assumed you like basically your eyes are open but they're closed and you're literally inside your head.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'm really lucky in that I'm both auditory and visual learner. So a combination of both is really powerful for me. So that's a lot of why I like the video world and I like the graphics world. And if we pair that well with words, the creative process works well for me because I like both of those elements. And then I very much I learn best by doing, because then I can access both of those. So I'm kind of lucky in that I have my hands in all of those things, but yet I'm complicated in that that's a lot. That's a lot.
No, I love it. It's when you talk about audio and visual, I mean, audio has a piece to it, but visual has more of an impact.
Yeah.
Right. And so think of POG and vlog.
Yep.
Anytime you do a podcast, you get the voice. And unless you know that person, if you've seen that person, you can't really feel it in a sense.
Yep.
To where when you do video, like I'm doing all these hand movements right now. So now there's gestures to my conversation, right? And so now if we're just having a podcast talk, you'd be like, oh, he's moving his hands, he's talking.
Yep.
You visually be seeing what I'm doing through a podcast. So I am a guy where I love video. I mean, video. To me, I think it's simple, it's quick, it's fast. It gets the point right across. If you can get my attention right away, you got me. With the podcast, again, if I've never seen you before, I have to listen long enough for you to capture my attention. I have to care after that. You know what I mean?
And I've
So
been
any about the
practicing doing like some videos, and then I put it onto YouTube, and then I take the audio and I put that onto SoundCloud, and I'm going to start using Anchor and stuff as well. But like, so I'm trying to double down on my content a little bit and put it out there for those that are visual and those that are more auditory, and try that a little bit. But it takes definite practice, because there's certain pieces of it where I feel like that was really good in video, and that sounded really bad in a podcast because it was boring as crap. Or the flip of that, where it was like, man, that sounded really good. Like you could hear it in my voice and whatever, but I didn't have any animation to it at all. So video wise, it was crappy. So I'm in very much in that practice realm. And so I love like
go ahead.
like I would love your critique of that. So
well, I would definitely recommend that you focus on getting your video out there first, right? Because then again, once I get used to this, then it won't sound so boring, because I'll be able to visually see you, right? As I'm listening to you. So then it's like, hey, if you miss this, go listen to this at this time, right? But at that time, I've already seen you, I know you. Then I'll go listen. I'll go watch the whole, or listen to the whole podcast part of all of it.
Sure.
So I would say, if I was you, I would focus video, and then once you get a following, then focus on putting audio behind it. Because again, it can be hard for people to care if I've never seen you before and I hear things you say, and it could sound boring because I don't know you. The animation, I've never seen the animation in you, I've never seen the passion in you. I'm just hearing you talk, and it's like, oh, the person's just talking. And so I was listening to myself on a podcast today on Patrick Kirby's. He put me on his podcast, Do Good Better podcast. And I was wanting to see the video, right? I was like, where's the video at, dude? And he released the podcast part of it, and I could just hear myself talking. I'm like, if you don't know me, you don't even understand what I'm talking. You don't get the fact that I'm using my hands as I'm talking. You don't get any of that. So that podcast, I'm interested in some people who can actually listen to it. The way he started off really well, though. He started off talking about data and things like that. So it starts off really well. But again, if you don't know me, if you've never seen any of my other videos, it's not going to matter. I've had people come up to me lately and say that my 1 million cups was amazing. And to me, it was flawed, of course. But because 1 million cups was done online, and people saw it, there was a video of me out there, and people see that video and they're like, oh, so now when they meet me, they already see me, then they talk to me on the phone, they get me my gestures. It's a connection at that point. Does that make sense?
Yep, very much so.
Yeah.
Giving kudos to Patrick too. Patrick can do both video and audio well, because he is so animated, and that animation comes through in his voice. And I think the world of how he does that. And then I kind of critique a little bit myself, like, boy, I wonder if you could do that, Amy. And then I'm like, no, because I'm not Patrick.
So I don't know if a lot of people know about Patrick. I don't know if a lot of people know this about Patrick, but the reason why he is so amazing on radio is he used to be a radio personality.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Way back in the day. So he's already honed his skill. He's honed his skill of how to get your attention with his voice. And so now he's honing his skill how to get your attention with his hand actions, with his memes. And he's honing those skills, right? So he already beat the first one. Now he's just kind of.
I love that though. He sets the bar high, and then he challenges all of us to critique ourselves and do better. Because I never take it as a like I'm chasing what he does. Instead, he inspires me to, boy, you have that down really well. I'll have my own little delivery, but I definitely want to work as hard as you do, because I know you work super hard. And Abby on his team is awesome too. So little kudos.
Right. Little shout out to them. But no, he'll tell you, go find your personality. Go find your actor. You know what I'm saying? Go find that person and then become that person. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're doing what you love and you're speaking about what you're speaking, that actor just becomes off as being you, right? But it gets become this own personality, right? And Patrick Nerdy, he now has a personality, right? Anytime you see him, that's energetic, crazy, go getter, do good better.
His mouth open thing that he
right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right. I mean, that's Patrick. He's got this persona about him now, and he's built that. But he worked his butt off to get there.
Well, maybe that's what we end on this week, is just that's the challenge for everybody to see, put out a few things and try to move them around a little bit, try to play around with hashtags a little bit, and then just see what your voice is and what your, let your personality come out, and,
hone your skills. Hone your skills. Figure out what you're good at, focus on that, and then just keep doing that over and over and over and over again, and then
Yep.
you become really good at that. And then all of a sudden, go do
Practice,
something else, and then level up, and now you'll be doing these other things. If you
Yep.
continue to do that, you will always level up.
Love it.
Easy enough,
I love
right?
the practice concept and just practice. So.
Yep,
Cool.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well,
On that note, yeah, have a great day. And
yeah, you have an amazing week.
all right, we will do this again. See you later.